He was your childhood friend. They always were close. And then he came back as a dude who looked way better than the guy who played friggin' Edward.
Yeah, instead of the guy who looks
he's like this big, swarthy, muscular, and then he's like,
Are we talking about Jacob?
Yeah, I'm like Team Jacob, man. I'm like, I don't know what the heck.
Okay, movies, I'm Team Jacob. Books, I'm Team Edward.
I read the books, too.
I will never read the book.
Jacob is
In the books, Jacob's a huge prick.
Yeah.
Like, he's that dude who works out a lot and knows he works out a lot, so he's always like, yeah, look at my abs type of dude.
All right, guys,
see, like,
let's get this show on the road.
All right.
We're having a conversation, man.
Yeah, I know, but we've
Twilight.
all right. And 3, 2, 1. Bam! There we go. We're live. Give me just a second to get this updated. Y'all want to go ahead and let's see. We're here with RaeBae Cosplay. RaeBae.
Yeah, RaeBae. RaeBae.
There you go. You want to introduce yourselves, or?
I'm Evan Nelson, and this is Raechel Anderson. She is RaeBae Cosplay.
We're married. My last name is Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
I was weirded out about that. I was like, wait a minute.
Her last name is Nelson. I'm not used to it yet. We've only been married since December.
We've been married almost 6 months.
Yeah,
but you're still not used to it.
My bad. I'm just not used to it. I never have to say your last name anymore.
Starting off our show with watching a husband crash and burn.
Yeah,
in a pile of flames is fun.
Do you know when your anniversary is?
It was 3 days ago.
It was 3 days ago.
Oh.
It's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And her birthday is June 29th.
His is June 2nd.
See, I do good.
I know my son's birthday. That's about it.
In all honesty, totally candidly, and she knows this, it took me at least 2 years to learn her birthday.
All you have to
I'm
do
just
is
bad with dates.
add a 9 to the end of his birthday. That's it.
That would make 11.
Add a 9 to the end, not add it to the number.
That would be adding 18 and adding 9.
He's technically right. The best type of correct.
The best type of right.
Well, I don't live in a world of technicalities.
Yeah.
That is all our world
I live in my
functions.
own world, okay?
It really does.
All right. Well, we're squeezed in the studio today, and we normally start this off with the news. So let's see what's happened this week. I couldn't find much of anything that happened. Did you find anything, Q? As far as
what you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Solo movie?
No.
You want to talk?
I mean,
about
the Solo
Deadpool
movie
2?
came out, but I haven't seen the Solo movie, so I can't talk about it.
I haven't seen anything that wasn't politics that's happened. So,
no, we don't do politics here. You know that.
What I'm saying.
I'm glad because I know nothing about politics.
I deal with it enough.
All we do is fight with each other about like politics. Like,
yeah,
we don't break up Dicejunkies. It won't be creative distance. It won't be our own Yoko Ono. It will be politics.
I'll be the Yoko Ono of this podcast.
Yeah,
there'll be the day that I just go, I'm tired of this.
We're getting married.
Here, Deadpool 2 did really well over the weekend.
I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool 2.
No spoilers. We're going to catch that either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we also don't want to spoil it for anybody that's watching who hasn't seen it.
Screw them. It's about me.
I will
usually,
say,
yeah.
I absolutely, as a comic book junkie, viscerally hate Deadpool, but I absolutely enjoyed the movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
You hate Deadpool?
Hate Deadpool.
What do you not hate?
It's a very, very good question.
Me?
Her. Most things. And to be honest, it's not Deadpool, period. There's a lot of Deadpool stuff I really, really enjoy. The Deadpool and Cable run was fantastic.
True.
Deadpool has just kind of taken this turn into consistent frat boy fart joke humor, and it's not really satirizing the way it used to be. And that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. That's just how I feel about it. I know a lot of people just truly, truly, truly love Deadpool. It's their favorite thing ever. And
I'll admit I like him because comic books have become so predictable that it's actually fun to see a character that I don't know what might happen because he doesn't always win. He doesn't always do what he's supposed to do.
So,
but that comes from being in comic books too long.
Yeah.
I mean,
as a cosplayer, I hate Deadpool.
That's the other side of
because there are a lot of people who just buy like the morph suits of Deadpool.
Yeah,
I think that gives them like free reign to do whatever they want at a con because I'm Deadpool. If I'm wearing makeup do not come and touch me because you're Deadpool. Don't touch me at all if I don't know you and you do not have permission, because there's a lot of things on cosplays that are very like delicate or are not meant to be touched. But yeah, there's been a lot of encounters with people in Deadpool morph suits that just feel like they can do whatever they want.
And apply that statement also to just generally any female. There's a lot of delicate things that you're not supposed to touch.
Not even females. One of my friends did a Joker, and like a Deadpool, we were posing for a picture, and a Deadpool came up behind him and like did the thing over his mouth, and he was like, I have face paint on, like, don't touch me.
Just be safe and don't touch people you don't know personally.
You'd be surprised on how often you have to have that conversation with people.
Like, don't touch.
I was at the store hanging out, and we were playing a game, and this guy was like, yeah, I'm gonna dress as Deadpool at this convention. Yeah, because you get to like go up and like mess with girls and stuff. And I straight looked at him and was like, do not do that. It's like, I can personally tell you, if I catch you at a convention doing that, I will drag you by your head out of the convention.
I mean, I'm
It's going to be a very Deadpool moment as I beat the living hell out of you. And
it's not even
just my
wife, it's anybody. If I see you making someone at the con uncomfortable because you're anything, like, just don't do it.
I kind of hold that same sentiment, man. I dislike seeing people misbehaving and making folks uncomfortable. Well, you can have fun without crossing the line.
It makes people just so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not a very touchy person myself anyway. Like, I had a friend who tried to give me a hug at the last con, and I punched him in the gut. So
shout out to Black Pocket Podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Black Pocket Podcast.
Are you man? Still sore.
And it's not to like be mean to Deadpool cosplayers. Like, if you want to do something that's very Deadpool, just talk to us first. Like, we will do skits all the time. Like, there's a lot of like Spider-Man cosplayers that love to do little skits with Deadpool cosplayers, but you have to clear it first. Like, you can't just run up to someone who's cosplaying Superman and just pick them up. Like, they're not expecting it. If you want to do something, just talk to us and be like, hey, would you mind like filming this really quick for me? And be like, sure.
At the last con, I was wearing an inflatable Godzilla suit, and I wrestled with a T-Rex for a minute because we talked.
Right. You clear it first.
Did you just jump them? Like,
I was at a cosplay contest here at North Park Mall, and there was a Kakashi there, and I was like, hey, would you mind if I like filmed me doing like the thing up the butt? And he was like, yeah, sure. I'm like, yeah, but you don't just do that to like Kakashi cosplayers. Like, you don't just run up and do that.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta clear it first.
I'm doing a skit. There's nothing weird about this. Poke.
Yeah.
I hate Boruto.
Let's see
you just had to throw that in there.
Yeah. The other thing
I don't
that
mean
was
the whole
in
anime. I mean Boruto specifically. I hate Boruto.
The other thing that was in the news was Ryan Reynolds, Michael Bay, and the writers of Deadpool are making a Netflix movie.
Of what?
It's called Six Underground. I have no clue what it's about, but with it being, I'm amused to see Michael Bay. with the writers of Deadpool.
Michael Bay explosions.
Yeah, and then Ryan Reynolds. Because I like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's a good actor. I've enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he's been in. But I hate Michael Bay.
But that's this. I'm glad you said that. I love Ryan Reynolds too. Like, if Ryan Reynolds was like, hey, let's go do it, I'd be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds wants to do me. But I feel a lot of time, like, there's a lot of people with Deadpool, especially. When we went to see Deadpool, Raechel doesn't know a ton about comics. And there's a lot of jokes that I'm like, that was a dig at this writer. That was a dig at this artist.
Hey, I got the Rob Liefeld joke.
You got the Rob Liefeld joke, and I was proud of you. But there was more than one of them. And there's some friends of mine that they're like, oh, I love Deadpool. Didn't get the jokes. Didn't understand them. It's like, you're not really a friend. You don't like Deadpool. You like Ryan Reynolds. Because Deadpool in the Deadpool movies is just Ryan Reynolds being like amped up a couple levels.
Yeah, no.
And I love it. It's funny. Like, it's great. Yeah, you look at still just
look at most of his jokes are about things that he's been in as Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. The reason why the Green Lantern jokes pop up all the time is because that's Ryan Reynolds. The reason.
There's a great one of those too.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like how people thought Robert Downey Jr. wasn't going to make a good Stark, and they're wrong. At this point, Ryan Reynolds has absorbed the Deadpool persona to the point that the only problem I have now is that I can't not see him as Deadpool. Like, I keep expecting when he was in that other movie with was it Samuel L. Jackson? That was an assassin movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We never got around to seeing
I kept
that.
thinking that at the end of the movie, he was going to put on his Deadpool mask and go, "Well, that was a fun side job," and then run off and go back to that. Like he was just like he was just screwing around. Like I just decided to be an agent for a while.
Yeah, that was the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Like you expect that out of Deadpool, that he would actually go and hang out in other movies just to like. I need to fund my Deadpool too, so I had to become a bodyguard for a while. And honestly, I wish
incredible.
every
That
movie
would
just
be
put that
great.
in as a freaking meta stinger. Just
Mhm.
every movie Ryan Reynolds just from now on has a Deadpool stinger.
It's
at
in
the
my
end.
contract. I'm actually Deadpool in this movie.
Yeah, I'm always going to be Deadpool at all times. Now, I hope Michael Bay won't ruin this.
Well, I mean, we don't even know what it is. It may already be horrible. So maybe,
If it's original,
like,
it may not be that bad.
maybe that's why they gave the Deadpool. They're like, here, just make it funny. It's already bad. Just make it funny, and maybe we'll make some money out of it.
I'm just
And then Michael
always
Bay, put some
super-
explosions in there.
It also
Explosions and
super
comedy.
wary.
Like, what is Michael Bay's contribution? Because at this point, Michael Bay could just be a producer. Like, if he's being the executive producer and it's just like, here's Michael Bay's money to make this thing, it could turn out to be pretty good. You know, it just depends. Michael Bay has produced a lot of stuff, and it's like produced by Michael Bay, and it's still like, hey, look, this is Transformers #9, produced by Michael Bay. It's still going to be crap. But, you know, like, once you become a producer, all you're doing is writing checks. You know,
I
it's
gotta
like-
backtrack because I will say this: if it's an original project, then it probably won't be that bad. I really only hate
Here you
Michael
go.
Bay because of what he did.
Six Underground will reportedly revolve around 6 billionaires who fake their own death and form an elite team to take down bad guys.
So it's like 6 dead Bruce Waynes becoming Batman?
yeah, I guess.
Wait, so they're
That
dead.
sucks. No, they
Oh.
fake their death,
Mhm.
and then I guess they create a secret underground.
Yeah, so it's going to be a billionaires, vigilante, explosions, and comedy.
See,
Actually,
that
it
might
may not be that
terrible.
bad.
I
But like I
hope
said, as
it's-
long as he's not using someone else's work.
I hope it's more like Netflix original shows than it is Netflix original movies, because the shows are much better than the movies.
Yeah,
in my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, it said it's going to be a movie, so we'll see. They haven't been.
Because
Very
I see
great
it
with-
says like I didn't finish Jessica Jones. I'm gonna be honest.
Second season of Jessica Jones was in.
Altered
Is it?
Carbon I have started and it is amazing.
I liked Altered Carbon.
I've
It was
always
really
started
good.
it, but it's
I
pretty good.
don't watch Stranger Things because I don't do scary things.
But it's good.
I know I've heard it's really good, but I don't do scary movies.
I can't watch Stranger Things until no one says anything about Stranger Things for 6 solid months. I still haven't watched Breaking Bad for the same reason. Like, until no one
He
talks
needs
about
to
it.
like not have the hype. So that he
Yeah,
can
like
watch it.
every time something's ever been hyped up for me, I've watched it and absolutely hated it because of the hype.
So what you're saying is you just reset your counter again, and now from
Yes.
this point it's another 6 months.
the reason I adopted this rule was the movie The Dark Knight.
Oh.
Can we not talk
I'm
about?
not going.
I'm gonna need your
deep.
number so I can call you every couple of months and mention. Like I'm gonna
Just be
keep
like
mentioning
Stranger Things, Breaking Bad. Well,
Stranger
all
Things is
right.
amazing. It just
Yeah.
keep texting them. Just
The Dark Knight is a very good movie, and I went into it thinking I was going to be seeing something more than what it was, which was a good Batman movie.
Mhm.
And the problem was it was all these people that I generally respect their opinions, and I went and watched this movie thinking like it was like, oh no, you've got to pay real close attention to this scene with Heath Ledger, and you got to do this. And I went into the movie going like, cool, like this is going to be great. Eli said this, John said this, and I go in and watch it, and it's just.
those are their
That
real
was,
names.
that was a Batman movie. Well, their first names. It's like, okay, so what was so great about that scene? Oh, it's just cool. That's not cinema. Like, that's a movie. Like, it's just completely different things. I don't know.
My favorite Batman movie is the Lego Batman movie.
Mine
I've
too.
heard it may be the best.
It is the best.
That.
As
I've heard
far
it
as
hyped.
in theaters, it is the best Batman movie.
It's like they took a Batman movie and went straight to a Batman fan and said, hey,
How do
you're a
we make-
Batman fanboy, make a Batman movie. But we're going to make it with Legos, so, you don't have to take it too seriously. It's like, it's
great.
exactly what the
It's
Lego
amazing.
Batman movie was.
Again, I go back to I've heard that it parodies itself so much as
It
well
does.
It
that
does.
I
It's
once again
amazing.
wonder if you expect to see him take off his mask and his Deadpool. That's my new thing now. I want
All
everything
right.
to end on Deadpool.
So,
So news.
well, I mean, I'm done. I don't have any more. Do you have more news?
No, I think
All right.
these people are informed now. We have
Yeah.
informed these
We
people.
informed them of anything we cared about, informed them about. There we go. blah, blah, blah. So, cosplay.
Yes, cosplay.
Since we have, RaeBae Cosplay, we should probably talk about them for a bit. So what y'all got going on?
Well, a lot. I just spent a lot of money. That is,
She certainly
I
did.
did. I bought a lot of stuff. So I'm going to Attn here in June, and I have one secret cosplay that I'm working on that I really don't have that much to do, and then I have one cosplay that I really need to get done because I really want to go to the meetup, and one of the people from the whole thing is gonna be there, and I just like a notice me senpai kind of moment, but he's probably not gonna notice me. But anyway, oh my god, look, it's me!
Mm-hmm.
Bottom left is
Yes.
your Acon line.
No, bottom right.
Bottom
Oh,
right.
left is the lineup.
Yeah,
The
there
bottom
you go.
right is what I'm working on.
Mm.
So
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, the whole lineup
is
here.
Jester, and there's way more to her costume than I originally thought.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of little pieces, and he helped me make some of the stuff.
What's Jester from? You actually got me there.
Jester is from a YouTube series called Critical Role. Oh, it's not
Okay.
YouTube, Twitch too.
Yeah,
It's
We
all
watch
the
it
voice
on
actors
YouTube.
from anime and different
That
stuff.
has been getting really popular.
It
Yeah.
is
yeah.
really popular.
It's very popular. I enjoy watching it, but as a DM, it kind of frustrates me sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it.
I actually can't watch it too. I'm just a
it's-
little bit too hardcore of a DM
I-
and gamer.
Well, to me, as
Love
someone who
Laura Bailey.
does who does like DMing for stores and events and live events, I've done birthday parties.
Mhm.
What I don't like about it, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I am not talking trash about Critical Role even slightly because I enjoy watching it. Is there's just so much stuff that's like they have writers. It's scripted from points to points,
Mhm.
and that's how they get such a good flow to all of it. From point A to point B, they always have, somehow always everything just seems to go right. Well, it's because it's scripted. Matt Mercer's not going home and twiddling over his ideas. They've got writers for the
Yeah.
show. And there's a lot of people who come into D&D and that's their experience. They've their friends got them to watch Critical Role and it's like, you should play D&D with us, and then they watch that and they sit down at a D&D table and they don't understand, like, my job as the DM is to take what you're doing and mold the world around that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you a story for 3 hours. You're going to tell me what you're going to do, and I'm going to tell you how the world interacts with it.
We also don't have to keep up
Yeah, we don't
a
have to keep up a
huge fan
huge number of
base
fan
and-
base. I understand. I understand. Like I said, I love watching it. I love the entertainment value of it. Totally candidly, I have stolen ideas from their campaigns. Like, that would be great for this event. Like, how he set up this, how he did that. I get it. But when you've got new players and they really expect, they sit down and they don't do anything because they're like, well, you haven't told me what's going on yet. Like, well, I've put you in the world. You've got your character. You know what your character's supposed to do and what they would do. Do something.
So I used to be a really bad D&D player.
She still is a really bad DM.
No,
No.
now I'm just a bad D&D player. I've done better.
In fairness,
Mhm.
most people are. Like, D&D's
Yes.
about having fun. Like,
Mhm.
people get lost in that, and especially when you're sitting around a group that's, super hardcore about D&D, you're supposed to have fun. Like I do encounter leagues, and most of the people show up. They come back because they had a great time. Because I'm sitting there and we're making jokes at each other's expense.
Mhm.
We're poking each other, and we're just having fun. Like, you did something dumb, it cost the party. Now we have to deal with it, but we're gonna make fun of you while we deal with it because that was really dumb.
That's often me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a
Let's see. I'll
close
kind of
up.
explain
Wrong cam. There we go.
my lineup. So Riku, who was just on the screen, is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even. This isn't even really the full lineup because I have not made it for days yet. But I know what days I'm doing stuff, and I'm really dreading Saturday because I have 3 costume changes. So
I didn't know this.
yeah, well, because the people that I'm doing all the photo shoots with aren't even there till Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So Friday is going to be my all-day Ooravity day, and that day I'm probably gonna stay in a 10 by 10 square of boys because she's really hard to move around in. They were at the con with me at Forest Hill. They saw me moving around.
I gotta say this is actually my favorite cosplay of yours. Like,
it's my favorite
it's so cool.
It's
and it's fun. And I'm a horrible person, and I find it fun to watch you try to walk.
Me too.
The cosplay struggle is real. It's equally as hard to move around as the second picture, which is Deanne from Seven Deadly Sins, because that freaking hammer is as tall as I am, and it's real. It's not that heavy. It's only about 10 pounds, but that's heavy for carrying it around all day.
My favorite thing about that picture is months later, she still hadn't realized. Like I told her to pose like that. And
There's
it's because
fan
the
art
hammer's
of it.
supposed to look like a stripper pole.
You guys, I'm so pure.
And
I
she just
know.
didn't realize, like, it's like stripper pole Deanne.
It is.
And it's a really good picture, and it turned out really well. But it was like 2 months later, I was like,
like,
the stripper pole picture.
I posted my lineup, and I was like, "This is still my favorite picture of Deanne." He was like, "The stripper pole one," and I'm like, "What?" That's my life, guys.
Unfortunately, considering how hard I crushed on Hinata, like the Hinata pics are my favorite because like I was so shipping Hinata and Naruto. Oh, and I can't spoil, so dang it.
So is showrunners.
You know, huh?
Can't
is it spoiling when it's been like 5 years?
Okay.
I don't even
but
watch
they did
Naruto,
the right thing.
and I know. Okay.
Yeah, they did the right thing with that to me. They made all the right calls.
That's another thing that I could nerd rage on for about an hour.
So
there's the
there's the stripper pole
There's
one.
so much to nerd rage on.
I'm still probably gonna pose like that because it's a really good pose.
It is.
Fun fact. Well, not really a fun fact. This fact makes me angry. So this is when I was a guest at Mississippi Anime Festival. And I freaking forgot my Deanne backpack. Like, we got to the con, and about 2 hours in, Zach from Dragon Blossom Cosplay was like, "Where's your backpack?" And I was like, "Oh my god." It's okay. I had the hammer, and that was the big important part, but it was not.
I mean, you got the tattoo, you got the hammer.
But now I know for ACON that I'm definitely gonna bring my backpack.
Yeah.
Because I forgot it, and I was really upset.
Now, what's up with this here? You going to?
So this
I mean, is he supposed to or
That's
her?
She's an invisible girl.
Yes, that is Toru Hakagure from My Hero Academia, and she is invisible. And we wanted to get a camo morph suit to be like the camouflage. Oh, I'm invisible.
I say she, but is it a he in
That's
the?
our
friend Jonathan.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
our friend Jonathan, because he was the only one who was willing to put on the suit and a bikini and jump in the water. Because if you go to the next post, that is probably back.
Right.
This is a whole story of where we're all like having like a splash fight, and then I get splashed a little too hard, and I get angry, and I like make her float, and then I drop her in the pool. And he was the only one willing to jump in.
But yeah, no, I actually caught a part of your live stream on this. Like I had seen it pop up, and I was like, "What the heck? Oh, this is different." And then I see this green suit chick that starts talking in a guy's voice, and I was like,
yeah, it was
interesting.
amazing. So if you scroll down a bit more, so Toru is my favorite like joke character to do. So for April Fools, I mean, you're probably gonna I post a lot.
Yeah, you do.
So for April Fools, my April Fools post was, which unfortunately it happened on Easter, so I had 2 posts. But that picture of the bed, I did a full nude cosplay of Toru Hakagure because she's invisible. I just posted a picture of like a bed, and everyone's like, "I don't get it," and then they would comment a little later. They're like, "Oh my god."
That's beautiful.
It was
that's great.
kind of amazing.
And there were people who were like, "I don't see anything."
Exactly. They were like, "I don't get it," and I was like,
No, you
just
won't
Google
get
it. But then fans did get some fan service later with the bunny
with
suit.
the bunnies.
Yeah. Which that photo shoot, I had no idea what was going on because my Hinata, you can click on the one top right. My Hinata contacts are pure white. They're not the mesh ones. I can't see anything.
Oh, so I could see where that'd be an issue.
The live stream of that was really funny because, and it's really bright because we have like studio lights, and all I see is like just makes it even brighter. And my eyes were constantly watering, so we had like Q-tips just so that Emily would just like pick them up and just blot my eyes so that I wouldn't start crying. And then they were like, "Oh, pose like this." I'm like, "I can't see what you're doing. Just like Whose Lines Anyway mannequin game style, like, pose me.
And for those listening on the podcast, when this comes out on podcast, you can play along by going to Instagram and checking out.
And just like randomly scroll. Maybe
you'll probably be there. But yeah, no, I mean you post a lot. Like this is one of the things that amazes me about you and many of the other cosplayers, because I know most of you still have day jobs, and
I work. A lot.
We here at Dicejunkies, we also have our day jobs, and it's like I can't find the time to post all this stuff on social media. Like my Dicejunkies social media account is pretty lame compared to like what most of you cosplayers do. I'm just like, man,
photo shoots.
Well, we're not as photogenic either.
Yeah, we're also
people
not
just
as
want to go see all
photogenic.
this hotness all over like Dicejunkies Instagram.
Well, speak for yourself, buddy.
Raechel consistently, when we're watching something, she'll be like, "Oh, you can cosplay that, or you can cosplay that." And it's like, sweetheart, I hate to admit it. Well, I don't hate to admit it. I totally love to admit it. Like, you're a lot hotter than I am, and even if I got totally yoked up, if I was just in jacked up shape, there's no point in time where people are going to want to take pictures with me more than the cute Asian girl.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not going to want to.
Yeah, you fail on the gender before you even get to how yoked up you are.
And cosplay, as the person who writes most of the checks, it's expensive. It's very, very expensive, and like I couldn't imagine, because most of the stuff I want to do is like crazy. Like I've got something I'm working on for myself that's a long ways off, but it's Vegeta in the Mighty Ozaru form, like the big monkey, and
Ape.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's just me nerd raging up. Actually, it's an ape.
It is an ape.
The monkey is a derogatory term used by Frieza.
It is. They wear, like, it's going to look cool. It's going to look accurate, but it takes a very long time. It's going to be very, very expensive. And her stuff, a lot of it, while it's expensive, it's not that expensive. And any of the stuff I work on, like, I can work on it bit by bit over several months.
At least you chose Vegeta. I mean, if you're trying to do, like, Nap or one of the other ones, you'd have to do a lot more fur. But because of the outfit, you do get to kind of only have to do, like, I think just the arms and the head, really, actually.
Like, one of my...
The armor doesn't have fur on it. It's not the fur.
It's not really a dream cosplay, but I really do want to do it at some point. I want to do Dragon Ball Chi-Chi, because I really like her helmet. It's really cute. And I want a cape. But I also, like, kind of don't want to wear a bikini. Like, Riku... I'm so proud of Riku. I spent so long on that cosplay, and that wig turned out so amazing.
Can I put in a request? And it's not even dirty. It's like, because it's the first video game character to make me cry, I would love to see an Aerith.
He wants me to do a Tifa.
Tifa was okay, but no, man. The flower girl, Aerith. Aerith.
Aerith.
I'll pronounce it.
But I'm actually in the middle of playing Final Fantasy VII again right now.
Well, they got the update. I'm looking forward to it.
I know. I saw the Tifa model got released, like the full 3D. Oh my god, she looks great. Although I'm gonna have to buy a lot of bras if I'm gonna do her.
Hold on just a second. Sometimes we get interference on our soundboard for some reason. That's really annoying. Mr. Bloodaxe asked, do you keep or recycle your costumes?
I do. I have not brought myself to sell
She keeps all of them. We have this huge walk-in closet. It's probably 15 feet back, 2 sides. She has an entire side that's all her cosplays. Some of them I've never seen her wear.
They're not
for
done.
real. Like, they're either half done, they're done, and she hasn't had an event for them, or she wore it once for event X and she hasn't had a reason to wear it again. And like, she does a lot of photo shoots, and I get it, like, if it's needed, but there are so many, and it's like I've got this huge closet, and my clothes take up like this much.
That's all you need.
It's not true. That's what I deal with. I could use more.
He's got to have a place to put his Vegeta costume.
Exactly.
It will go with the other cosplays.
So anybody out there who plans on dating a cosplayer or,
Oh my God,
or marrying
we
a
could-
cosplayer,
We could talk about.
Well,
I'm planning on it. If you are a single cosplayer, I am single.
And when I met Raechel wanted to be a cosplayer. She was doing little bits here and there. She had a couple things. She like her first cosplay when we were together was Trixie from My Little Pony.
Yep.
But
Fun fact: I'm just gonna like self plug in here. You should totally go to YouTube and check out Princess Trixie Sparkle because I am both a great and powerful Trixie and Princess Luna. Okay, there you go. It's my like actual dream job is to be a voice actress, but yeah.
But yeah, since we've been together, her cosplay profile has been way up there. Just because I can, I can make certain things and I can finance certain things and
Money.
Yeah, it's just when you're like married and you've got two incomes, it makes it a lot easier to be like, how much is that going to cost? Well, that's not quite as bad as when I was living by myself in an apartment eating ramen.
Yeah.
I also
Who doesn't remember the ramen days?
I very rarely pay like full price for things. I'm a part of a lot of cosplay sales groups. So if it's like a character that I don't really care about, but like I don't care enough to spend the time and energy and money, additional money to make it, if I find one on sale that's my size, I will get it. So I don't make every single one of my cosplays. Just like Hinata. Hinata's just one of those, and I didn't even buy that one. It was just given to me because I fit the group.
I am in those groups too, and there's sometimes I'll message Raechel and be like, "Are you this size?" And she'll be like, "Yes." And it's like, "Well, I bought this and it was only $45, so this is gonna be good for a photo shoot."
Because it's like, it's a lot more to buy the stuff to make a cosplay, and then you have to take in all the time that I really kind of don't have anymore. Now that I got more hours at my day job, so
And that's one of the biggest things when. Because a couple of her nicer things I was involved in the making of, and there's just so much time involved. And you'll have people come up and say, "Oh, yeah, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? How do you make this?" And it's like, I can explain to you the process. But that's a lot different than sitting down and showing you. I can give you, it's like this prop. How was it made? Well, it's 3D printed. Here's the card of the 3D printer. Talk to him.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be much more expensive than you think it is.
Because what people don't seem to realize about 3D printing is there's a lot more work to do after it's printed.
Yeah,
like,
you
have to sand it, you have to, like,
and
sand
sand it with 4 different grits of sandpaper, and then prime it, and then sand it, and sand it, and sand it. And then prime it again, and then check for low spots, fill the low spots, sand the low spots, prime it again. And then, like, when it looks perfect, you can start painting.
So, I mean, have you ever had the issue, too, of starting a 3D print and then a pretty larger one that towards the end it just completely screws up? And
cough, Uraraka boots, cough.
So the guy, Habiteer Workshop, if you're looking to have anything 3D printed, when he was doing the actual printouts of them, we talk all the time. He's a very, like, if you're wanting some high-end stuff done, absolutely Habiteer Workshop. He's worked with some really, really big names in cosplay, and
like me. Just kidding.
he'll
Not
still
me.
talk to you for 45 minutes about a project that he's not even being paid for. If you ask him, "Hey, I'm wanting to do this, how would you do it?" He will absolutely tell you the best way to do it.
It's so
Awesome.
refreshing.
Yeah, that's in the cosplay community, it's kind of 50-50. You get the people who will tell you absolutely everything because, it's part of their livelihood and they enjoy it. And then you get the people that are like, "That's my secrets."
So, I don't even remember the name of this cosplayer, but she had a silk for sale. And it wasn't just the silk I want to do is the first appearance of silk because I love silk and it's such a cool suit. It's not even really a suit, it's just like webs all over her. And she had a really, really good one for sale. It was my size, and it just it got sold too fast for me to buy it. And so I was like, "Hey, you already sold this. How do you mind telling me how you made it?" And she was like, "I just found some fabric that matched." And I was like, "Okay, but where? What kind?" She was like, "I don't remember." And she was very, very standoffish because it wasn't just the fabric. It was like she had stuff over it, which I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was like, well, I see where you like had the base fabric, but what did you put over it? She was like, I don't have to tell you that. I'm like, what does it matter? You don't even cosplay her anymore. You just sold it. Someone else is going to have the same suit. What is it killing you so that I can have a good silk? So annoying.
The cosplay business has a vicious competitive edge to it.
But it shouldn't. Cosplay is for everyone.
And you know, I don't know that that's even necessarily true. I think there's just some people who think that, and it's kind of like, you know, when I'm very good at business and the business side of things, and Raechel will come up with an idea and she'll say, "What do you think of this?" And I'll be like, "Well, we should do it more this way because business-wise, it makes more sense."
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, it's like, if I can't Google your name and get an image of you, you're not big enough to worry about hiding your secrets.
Yeah.
You just activated their Google.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't care. It's
no,
just...
the Google Home. It started thinking.
Yeah, you just...
It's still listening. It hasn't stopped.
You should be able to just say, like, oh, how did you make this? Well, I made a form out of clay and then made a mold and then filled the mold with silicone. I'm not making it for you, you know? Like, I'm not sending you my design parameters, but... And even so, if I made something, like if I sewed a dress for Raechel and the dress, I made a pattern for it, if somebody asked me for it, I'd probably just send them the pattern. Because, you know, you're still going to have to do literally all of the work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not...
I just need the pieces.
You're not... And if we're not directly competing with each other, like if you're not local, why do I care? Yeah. If you're someone in Canada, you know, I'm not competing with you for a spot at a local convention. It just doesn't matter. Exactly. But, you know, not everybody thinks that way. There are people who, you know, you've got a lot of people in music, everything, that they're on the bottom, but they don't realize they're on the bottom. And to get up, you have to climb, and you have to make friends, and you have to make contacts. And I
gotta say, most of the cosplayers that we have met and spoken to have all been very informative. Like, none of them tried to hold anything back. So
locally, I haven't met anybody.
Especially, I mean, most of what we've been has been in the southeastern region. So,
well, a lot of those people, like, they want to do cosplay because it's fun, and Raechel loves it. I hate it. Like, I don't like cosplay for myself. Like, she has a great time when she's in costume.
I respect all cosplayers. Yeah. I could not do it. I don't have the patience for one. And then, I'm a t-shirt and jeans type of person. Like, I feel uncomfortable in anything that's not t-shirt and jeans.
So. Well, I can't find anybody to cosplay us because there's no one superior to me. So it's just like a downgrade. I've thought about it, but I'm like, I'm just too much. Like, if I put on a costume, it's like I feel like I'm dressing down.
My problems are always either A, it's something that's going to be really complicated, take a lot of time and a lot of money. B, she loves my beard. She won't let me shave my beard.
Nope.
So there's a lot of characters that I would do, but I'd have to shave, so she won't let me.
You could still do Krieger, and I could still be your waifu.
Okay, we'll talk.
What about Old Man Logan? Like the actual comic book, like
I could
Mountain
do Old Man Logan.
Does that mean I could be
But the last time...
X-23?
I also like characters that not a lot of people know. So you go to a convention. The last time I wore a costume to a convention, I was Seijiro Hiko from Rurouni Kenshin. And like people in my age bracket that watched anime several years ago probably maybe know who that is. And when I went to the convention, at least 6 different times I had someone go, "So are you like Japanese Elvis?" I'm just kind of like,
he's got the big cape with the collar.
By the end of the day, I was just like, "Yeah, I'm Japanese Elvis. Got it."
No, he's got who you should be. Pop that up there, man. That's actually you.
I mean I couldn't get a big picture, but yeah, the Mage comic book.
You know what you could really do?
Because all you need's a baseball bat and a t-shirt with a lightning.
It's very Black Adam-esque, and I do love Black Adam.
Oh, yeah.
You could totally do, like, a bearded Aquaman.
The new Aquaman.
But here's the thing. I'm also a purist. So I've never been an Aquaman fan, so
I
I feel
know.
really weird just
And
being
I
like, check out my
completely-
Aquaman cosplay.
I completely respect that because I am a very avid
There's
person.
a little better picture there.
I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah, 'cause
avid
I'm gonna
about
read this.
not cosplaying.
Is that Static Shock in the back?
No,
I don't think this is.
Static
I don't
Shock.
think
like
this
old
is.
man Static
I've actually got the graphic novel. I'll loan it to you.
Okay.
I'm a very avid person about not cosplaying things that you don't at least know 50% of the like source material. Like the cosplay that I do that I know the least about is Hinata. I've never watched Naruto. I mean, I've watched parts of it and I know the story. It's been around enough. It's like I know the story of Fairy Tail. I know the story of One Piece, but I'm not bothering to watch them.
But you were also roped into the Hinata thing. Like, you didn't
Well,
seek out to
yeah,
do it.
no.
They were like, we need someone to be Hinata. Here's the costume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like I did it to help out my friends, and I ended up having a great time. And I love of all the characters in Naruto, I did like Hinata
And
because
I'd
I
make
love.
I'd make you be like, yeah, let's watch some Naruto. There's just so much of it.
Oh yeah.
And, like, I read the manga from start to finish. I was one of those people who punished themselves with that. And
If
by
you,
the time it was done, it's just like, there's some parts of that manga that are just really cool and really amazing, and the art's great, but you go through these, like, 4-month gaps of time where all
if
it is
if you
Naruto
do
training.
if you do decide to watch the anime, my suggestion is you can go online and find
there's
a
tons
list
of filler lists
of the canon
Yeah.
and actually just watch the canon, avoid all the filler. That cuts it like in half.
I've
There's
watched a
also
lot of the
YouTube
important
videos.
stuff. I've watched all the important stuff. Like
Yeah.
before
Yeah, I've
did,
shown her some of the important stuff.
before even if it's a character that I don't really know that well, I will still brush up because there is nothing more like. I'm trying to think of what.
Well, when someone comes up to
actual
you and they're
purse-
really excited to talk to somebody about the costume that they're wearing, and they're
Right,
like,
you
"Oh,
expect
you like
them to
this
be a
too,"
fan.
and then the person wearing the costume
It's like what?
has no idea. Like, I'm a little old school when it comes to cons. Like, when I see pretty women in costumes at conventions, generally speaking, my first instinct is not to talk to them.
Hey, but
because
I hate that.
I grew up in our first cons we went to, those were con girls, and con girls they're not con girls, booth girls.
babes.
They were girls that were paid by companies.
Yeah, they were
to
models that
Yeah.
were
wear,
paid.
and they
yeah.
don't know anything about what they're wearing. They're just there because they look like.
But
the
you still have a few of those
No,
still
there's
around.
there's
so.
tons of those, and I really, really dislike them because I'm gonna sound like kind of arrogant. I'm really pretty, so
Yes,
That's-
you are.
that's
no,
accurate.
I will
I'm
agree
pretty,
with you.
and I do relatively
I know, right?
decent. I know I do relatively decent cosplays of really popular characters, and I just sometimes it gives people a bad rap because it's like, oh well, you're just doing this for the likes, or you're just doing this for the fan base. It's really popular. I'm like, no, I happen to really love Uraraka. She's my favorite character. That's why I put so much time and effort into her.
I can vouch
Like-
for it. As my boy Zeno will tell everybody, I'm the huge nerd rage fat guy who will walk up to someone in cosplay and make a very obscure reference. And if they don't know what I'm talking about, I'm immediately disgusted and I won't even let them take a picture of their costume. So, and when I walked up to her, she knew, she knew My Hero Academia, and I was
There's
like, awesome.
a fun story. I don't remember who the story is from, but he went to a bigger convention, and there was a guy wearing a
Can you
Thor
look up
cosplay made completely out of Big Mac wrappers, like Big Mac boxes. And he walked up to this guy, and great pun work on his part. He goes, "Hey, where's Hogan the Grimace?" And the dude had no idea what he was talking about.
Oh.
It's like, you can't possibly have ever cracked a Thor comic book and not know who Hogan the Grim is.
No.
But, that's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Now,
to a
I
certain
do
extent.
hate when people come up with like super like recent stuff. Like, don't.
I mean, don't
Like-
say don't.
Well, okay. You probably shouldn't go up to someone if like the episode came out that day and make a reference to that episode. Like, what if they just got into it and they just happen to really love this character? Like,
Or, you can be like
But-
me and have a busy life and don't get to watch things right away.
right, you can still be a fan of something, but don't be like. Poser fans are very easy to spot. Like, if you come up to a Hinata cosplayer and be like, hey, do the gentle fist pose, and they have no idea what you're talking about, probably don't talk to them.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably would walk away from that.
And actually, her gentle fist is different from the AG. She developed on a different path, and her
Yeah.
techniques are not the same. So it's a variant.
A real good example of that is actually
All right,
my
dude.
shirt.
Come on now.
This shirt has started way more awkward conversations with people than you'd expect because all of them are like, "Oh, your shirt! Like, I love Punisher Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man 2099. There's no such thing as Punisher Spider-Man."
And
But they see the skull,
Yeah.
they
And
see
they
the
think it's,
legs,
"Hey, look."
and they're like, "I'm gonna I'm gonna conglomerate these two nerdy things into something that doesn't exist."
so I was like, yeah, it's not a
And
thing.
Spider-Man 29 actually has nothing to do with Peter Parker. It's
Nope.
a
Nothing
completely different
to do with
person.
Peter
Parker.
with a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
set of
All right, so
Yeah. I love Spider-Man 2099 though.
I do too.
I thought he was awesome, especially because I like the fact he was kind of a jerk, and I like realistic people who aren't just saints.
My
I like everybody.
introduction
Anything written
to
by
him-
Peter David, pretty much. Love it.
My introduction to Spider-Man 29 was Shattered Dimensions, and that video game is amazing.
Her introduction.
I like noir Spider-Man. Yeah, I like the
It's
noir
video
Spider-Man.
games and like any kind of like animated movies and stuff, which still you would be surprised at how many people don't watch them. Like, if you like the Suicide Squad movie, I am sorry that you live such a horrible life. But if you want a really good
Are there
Suicide
more of you?
Squad,
Where do I find?
if you want a really good Suicide Squad movie, you should watch the animated DC movie because DC has animated movies like down to a
Yes.
T.
Mhm.
Yes, they do.
Assault on Arkham. It is fantastic.
All right, but you're going to ignore the elephant in the room, which almost destroyed their credibility. That was the Killing
Okay,
Joke.
no, we don't talk about the first 45 minutes of the Killing Joke. We only talk about
They
the part
tried,
that was the
okay?
Killing
They
Joke.
tried with the Killing
I knew
Joke.
the
You're
Killing Joke was
supposed
going to be a misconceived from the word go. And this is the comic book nerd coming out in me. One of the most important parts of the Killing Joke is Brian Boland's art. It's just so integral to that story, the art style, and you're not going to capture that in animation. I don't care if you have Mark Hamill being the Joker. You know, it's just you're not going to get that feel in animation because the artwork for the Killing Joke is just so iconic to the work.
And it's
It's
a
true.
still. It's got to be a still. Some things
Yeah,
when
like-
animated lose all the gravitas.
but hey, at least they did have the best Joker, so
Yeah, they did.
I'm still just...
because Mark Hamill.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, I'm pro
Absolutely.
Batman killed Joker. I know some people say no, but I'm pro. I like that version the best. I
You
think
know-
it'd be awesome if Batman just finally snapped and then snapped.
That's
go-
why I
Man.
liked Injustice so much.
I go back and forth on
Because
this.
Superman snapped.
I
Superman's
that
a
was-
jerk.
just
Well,
like my
yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
not killing people. You know, that's the comic book nerd in me, and that's my own personal feeling. I just always feel like it feels wrong when Batman is killing people. I know there are people out there like, but the original Batman carried a gun. Like, I get it, but like the really hard, long part of Batman was Batman didn't kill people.
Yeah, well,
For
the
the
Yeah.
original...
Oh yeah, yeah.
The original Thanos... the original Infinity War.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
It
what the
needs some
movie was.
changes.
Yeah. Well, I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna. I'm
Thanos-
not gonna talk
Thanos
about
doing
that.
things besides trying to impress the girl he likes.
Hey, look what I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool that they took Thanos and said, let's give him a personality.
I
Really?
loved it.
I
I
loved.
loved it.
Oh
Wow.
my god!
But it was just
I was
funny,
really
like,
concerned about how they were gonna. Not
a
really
couple
concerned.
a
I
couple
wanted
of the
to see
people
how
that I
they
talked
did
to that didn't read comics were like, so what like please tell me all this is going to be okay, like no spoilers, not spoiling anything. And it was like, what you have to understand about comics is they can make
Nobody
mistakes
dies.
because they can write the mistakes out in 2 weeks. You know?
Yeah.
Like
It's like a cartoon. Everybody ends up the same as they were.
I mean, all you gotta say is, look, in comics, death is not a constant.
no,
So-
ever.
People will literally walk out of the... Okay, if you're out there, if you've ever read Greek mythology, yes, people can literally walk out of the underworld casually and just go, oh, I'm alive again. I found the exit to death.
Have you ever seen Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah, just walk out.
Well, when
You
when
want some
know
Disney
comics,
movie
like,
references? You got the right person on the show.
This just shows how much of a soulless monster I am. When we were watching, and the climax of the movie happens, and Rachel's bawling her eyes out, I was having such a hard time not laughing. just because it's like
No,
I know
but
what they're gonna do. You know, like I know how they make this right.
Yeah.
As a comic book
Okay,
fan.
no, you're telling me that it didn't get you a little bit
Not
when
even
a
a
certain
little.
person said, "I don't feel so well."
Not even a
I
little.
was
And-
dying
and
inside.
That
I'm
is
like,
my
no.
favorite comic book character and favorite comic book series.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm such a soulless monster.
It didn't.
I'm
Yeah,
just
no.
like,
I was like, yep, nothing.
You were asleep.
Nothing.
We've been over this.
I was
You
not
You
asleep.
fell asleep during Infinity Wars. Don't listen to him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
lost his
was a
cred.
mess.
It was
she-
hard.
The lady, there was a random lady next to us, and I was crying so hard that she reached into her purse and
She
grabbed
did.
a Kleenex and gave it to me.
I forgot about that. She totally gave you a Kleenex.
But the fact that she had Kleenex,
Oh,
like,
that's great.
wherever you are, I love you. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
All right, so before we move on to our random encounters section, you wanna drop any spot, like tell them where to find you,
Fun time.
any of that good stuff, plug something.
Yeah, you can tell. Oh my god, I really probably should change my namer tag, but it's fine. It's just a namer tag. It's not
Namer
a thing,
tag.
whatever. On Instagram, you can just search RaeBae Cosplay. RaeBae. It's really easy to spell, and if you don't know how to spell cosplay, you need help. But if you want to type it in, it's RaeChev as in Victor EYC. I would get into the story of why it is RaeGVC, but it's just easier to tell you that it's my username for everything because it's never taken.
Well, there you go.
And if you want to see me, watch her live streams. And that's my favorite time because I
No.
wait till she doesn't know I'm around
He's not
and
even.
I harass her.
He's not even in them. I'm just like squealing because he's off camera doing something.
Or throwing things at her.
Yes. I'm just waiting for the day you throw the dog.
He's too heavy.
Now, one last thing, I guess, and before we move on to the next section too, is we learned some great stuff about you when we were at this school event, and that's that you tell great one-liner jokes.
They're not mine.
And-
They're all stolen. I'm great at telling stolen puns.
So you wanna end this section up with a one-liner?
I do. Okay, I'm going to tell the one that not everyone knows, because everyone knows the Mario joke. Why don't they serve alcohol at calculus parties? Because you're not supposed to drink and derive.
Yep. So
I want everyone to know that I've heard that pun at least 10,000 times.
So we don't really get into like arguments ever.
Ever.
Like there was one day that I cried and was so mad at him
I stole her
because
pun.
no, you didn't steal it. I'd already said the first part of the joke, and he was so mad that he just blurted out the punchline, and I
had to
not.
promise I would never do it again.
Yeah, he did. That's
So
why
what
we're
And I
did
still
married.
have it. I've never done it
I
again.
Oh
know.
wow, you kept
What?
that promise.
Yeah,
you got
I'm
Mr.
hard up
Blood
on my
Axe's funny
promises. If I
bone.
make
So.
a promise to somebody, I'm just going to keep it. Especially her.
Mr.
you
Blood
know.
Axe's jokes are terrible, though. I've known him for a long time, so I'm not surprised.
So if you want a really good joke that you can just keep, I have a picture saved on my phone that I just keep around, and anytime that someone's having a bad day, you just go, hey, do you want to see the highlight of my day? Just write my day and put a highlight in it.